All right, everyone. Today we're talking about something a bit more interesting. A game that takes place in the GoreBox universe that almost nobody knows about. It's called Uncoha, a cancelled project developed by GDev around 2023. This game had a lot of promise, featuring open-world survival elements, like managing your hunger and thirst, and it took place right before the Uncoha outbreak. Sounds cool, right? Well, here's the thing. It was cancelled shortly after development started, and for the longest time, it was thought to be lost forever. Until now. So, Uncoha was one of GDev's more ambitious projects. You'd get to see what life was like before the outbreak, which is something we never really got to experience in GoreBox itself. Sadly, the project didn't last long. Development was cut short, and according to Gabo, the game files were lost on his computer. For years, literally nobody had access to this forgotten piece of GoreBox history. But then, just a few days ago, something crazy happened. Gabo announced that he finally found the files, and here's where it gets even better. He decided to release it. At first, it was a private release, and only a select few, like GreenX, had access to it. But then he shared it with other people, including me. So, this game is rough, like super early development rough. The mechanics are barely there, and it's clear this was in its earliest stage in development. But you can still do some interesting stuff, like entering buildings, seeing the pathfinding of Gordals, and even AI-driven cars. It's fascinating to see how much potential this game had. Now here's something even more interesting. Uncoha isn't just a random game. It's actually a kind of remake of GoreBox Prototype. If you've played Prototype before, you'll notice the similarities right away, especially with the open-world vibe. The map in GoreBox Prototype, for example, looks oddly familiar, and that's because it's almost identical to another game called Broke Protocol. Let me show you what I mean. Broke Protocol is a game where you can role-play as anything. Police, firefighter, military, you name it. It also has survival elements like hunger and thirst. And its map is its default map that most servers and single-player uses. Now compare that to GoreBox prototype. See the resemblance? They're nearly identical. So what does this mean? Did Broke Protocol copy GoreBox prototype? Actually, no. It's the other way around. Broke Protocol has been around for a while, and here's where things get even crazier. GDev himself played Broke Protocol. If you look at his Steam profile, you'll see that he's not only played it, but he even created a workshop item for it called Better Default. It's a better version of the default map in Broke Protocol. Duh. And, fun fact, it's one of the most subscribed items on the workshop. This proves GDev was inspired by Broke Protocol when creating GoreBox prototype, and later, Uncoha. Here's something that caught my eye while digging into the game files with the Unity Explorer. As I was looking around, I noticed something super interesting. There's a ton of names listed. And I'm not talking about generic labels like NPC-01 or Enemy-03. These are actual names, like the kind of names people use. Now this got me thinking, what if every single NPC in the map was supposed to have their own unique identity? If that's true, it just goes to show how much ambition GDev had for this project. Imagine walking around an open-world map and knowing that every random person you pass on the street has their own name. That's next-level detail for a game like this, and it really makes you wonder what other ideas GDev had for Uncoha. Oh, and here's something else that's just weird. I found this strange-looking camera setup for a car. I don't know if it was supposed to be for some kind of cinematic shot or maybe a third-person driving mechanic, but it looks weird. Alright, let me end this video off with something cool I found. There's a video floating around where GDev himself is driving a car in Uncoha. Now here's the thing, in the build I have, I can't drive any of the cars. So, seeing GDev actually driving around in the game, that's cool. Anyways, I think that's a good place to end the video. Uncoha might have been rough around the edges, but it's clear that GDev had big plans for it. It's just a shame that we'll never see the full potential of what this game could have been.